Every coffee needs a lotus.
What's the secret to beauty's beauty?
Langis.
Ito ba lahat ang gamit mo?
Ay hindi. Isa lang ang gamit ko for all. Moringa O2 Therapy Oil. Hindi lang malunggay. Meron ding olive oil and omega from sunflower oil.
This therapy oil helps relieve my dry and irritated skin.
It helps lighten my scars and stretch marks.
It helps make my hair strong and healthy.
This is our beauty secret.
Sana all!
Sana oil.
Hi, I'm Mel, and I am choosy. My ultimate skin goal is gusto kong mag-even out ang skin tone ko.
Hi, my name is Gian Anwada. My skin goals are to become whiter, fairer, healthier, and younger.
it really shows na yung skin ko ngayon mas moisturized, mas glowing, and mas healthy.
Thanks to Glutasine, I got my skin tone back. Thank you so much, Glutasine.
Every coffee needs a lotus.
What's the secret to beauty's beauty?
Langis.
Ito ba lahat ang gamit mo?
Ay hindi. Isa lang ang gamit ko for all. Moringa O2 Therapy Oil. Hindi lang malunggay. Meron ding olive oil and omega from sunflower oil.
This therapy oil helps relieve my dry and irritated skin.
It helps lighten my scars and stretch marks.
It helps make my hair strong and healthy.
This is our beauty secret.
Sana all!
Zero oil.
Hi, I'm Mel, and I am choosy. My ultimate skin goal is gusto kong mag-even out ang skin tone ko.
Hi, my name is Gian Anwada. My skin goals are to become whiter, fairer, healthier, and younger.
It really shows na yung skin ko ngayon mas moisturized, mas glowing, and mas healthy.
Thanks to Glutasy, I got my skin tone back. Thank you so much, Glutasy.
Every coffee needs a lotus.
What's the secret to beauty's beauty?
Langis.
Ito ba lahat ang gamit mo?
Ay hindi. Isa lang ang gamit ko for all. Moringa O2 Therapy Oil. Hindi lang malunggay. Meron ding olive oil and omega from sunflower oil.
This therapy oil helps relieve my dry and irritated skin.
It helps lighten my scars and stretch marks.
It helps make my hair strong and healthy.
This is our beauty secret.
Sana all!
Zero oil.
Hi, I'm Mel, and I am choosy. My ultimate skin goal is gusto kong mag-even out ang skin tone ko.
Hi, my name is Gian and Wada. My skin goals are to become whiter, fairer, healthier, and younger.
It really shows na yung skin ko ngayon mas moisturized, mas glowing, and mas healthy.
Thanks to Glutasy, I got my skin tone back. Thank you so much, Glutasy.
Every coffee needs a lotus.
What's the secret to beauty's beauty?
Langis.
Ito ba lahat ang gamit mo?
Ay hindi. Isa lang ang gamit ko for all. Moringa O2 Therapy Oil. Hindi lang malunggay. Meron ding olive oil and omega from sunflower oil.
This therapy oil helps relieve my dry and irritated skin.
It helps lighten my scars and stretch marks.
It helps make my hair strong and healthy.
This is our beauty secret.
Sana all!
Zero oil.
it really shows na yung skin ko ngayon mas moisturized, mas glowing, and mas healthy.
Thanks to Glutasine, I got my skin tone back. Thank you so much, Glutasine.
Okay, and we're live. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to our Zoom participants. Good morning to our FB Live viewers. So it's another fun-filled e-learning session powered by Ariva Academy. Welcome, everyone. So my name is Irish Malonda Samson, and I'm your host. With me is Mr. Howell Mabalot, my co-host and moderator, and Ariva partner speaker. Hi, Sir Howell.
Hi, Madam President Irish Malonda Samson. Always a pleasure to work with you this pandemic.
Okay, so this is the third series of our HR Virtual Summit PH, Bounce Back HR, Sharpen the Resilience for the New Normal World of Work. And we have invited another global guru, sir. I'm excited to meet him in a while. But before that, please allow me to acknowledge some of our out of the country participants. And they are from New Delhi, India, Malaysia, and Singapore. Thank you for joining us today. And in order for us to have a smooth flow of our e-learning session, here are the house rules. May I know who are the first timers here in our webinar? Please do type hi in the chat box now. Let me see who are the first timers. Hello there. Okay, so yan. Melanie Dao Ines, welcome to our e-learning session. Ms. Emeline, okay. Natasha, hello, welcome to our e-learning session. And we wanted to know if you can hear us loud and clear. So you will be needing a good quality headset, and please use the following codes. Type 111 to show if you can hear us. Okay? Loud and clear, Sir Jonathan, Marielle, okay, loud and clear. 222 means you can hear us. 2121 means our sound is breaking up. There's a log, and question mark if you don't understand anything. Okay, all is well and clear. 111 from Mercedita Nunez. Okay, thank you, ma'am. And we will be having a 2 to 3 minute break, a quick break later after the presentation of our guest speaker and before we move on to the question and answer. Okay. Participants' microphones will be temporarily disabled by the administrator during discussion to avoid interruptions. Questions will be entertained after each topic of the session. For questions and clarifications during the provided time after each topic, please click the raise hand button for the administrator to enable the microphone for live questions. Type in your questions at the Q&A box. One question at a time will be entertained. For comments and feedback, please do scan this QR code. This will be directed to our feedback form. I'll give you time. Okay, you can scan this now. Please send us your feedback, your comments, ideas, topics to discuss so that we can improve our future e-learning sessions. Okay, and our topic this morning, why the COVID-19 crisis is ideal to improve your organizational culture. We have invited a global guru, and Sir Howell, please do the honors in introducing our guest speaker.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much, Madam President Irish Malonda Samson. It is an honor to always introduce our global speakers, and this time he has ranked number 4 of the world's top 30 thought leaders in both leadership and organizational culture categories by global gurus. He has 25 years experience specializing in psychological approaches to leadership and corporate culture transformation. Wow. He is a renowned motivational leadership keynote speaker and trainer globally, and has advanced corporate trainings with innovative techniques and tools that have been acknowledged by some of the world's greatest organizations. Based in Bali, Indonesia, everybody give it up for Mr. Arthur Carmazzi.
Yeah!
Yeah! How are you, Sir Arthur?
Much for that awesome introduction.
And thank you for your high energy this morning.
Yeah, well, you know, we're online. I mean, if we're going to be boring, then nobody's going to stay and watch.
I agree. Speaking of watch, we have Facebook live streaming, and hundreds and hundreds of people, and then eventually thousands of people are watching us right now. FB Live, thousands eventually. And this will be uploaded on YouTube. And we're still live streaming via YouTube. And another platform is LinkedIn. So we are multi-platform now. We are in social media in all parts of the world. People are watching us.
Awesome.
So no pressure on you, sir.
That's all right. It's still a lot easier because I'm still just talking to a camera instead of, you know, talking to like 12,000 people in a room, right?
Are you the type of a person who becomes more energized, more excited when you see thousands and thousands of people?
Yeah, I'm kind of hyperactive ever since I was a kid, which was a big problem for my teachers.
But you were able to turn it around.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of my superpowers.
Thank you for that. So, sir, what will happen now, Sir Arthur, is that we'll give you the center stage, the platform, so that you can freely discuss your material. And then after you have presented your material, I will come in and for the Q&A.
Awesome.
And facilitate and moderate the Q&A.
Okay, now I would like to also ask for some participation in the audience in general to just kind of get an idea of who's there first before we kind of go on and throughout the program. So for those of you that are out in the audience, I would like you to just quickly write down whether you are either, HR, if you're HR related, just write HR. If in the chat box, if you're training related, that means you're a trainer or a consultant or a coach or something like that, just put expert, okay? And if you're in the wrong webinar and you've got something, you know, you just kind of have nothing better to do and you just kind of wanted to show up, and then just write other. Or actually write down what it is that you are. So either something in HR, something in the expert field, well, the HR, employee relations, all that stuff is all kind of counted in HR. Business owner, okay, all right, yes, business owners are good, okay, awesome. Okay, so that just having a general idea of who is there. Awesome, awesome. Okay, HR and business owners, senior managers, okay, consultants, awesome, fantastic. All right. Okay. Awesome. 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 Okay. So I'm getting a much better idea. All right. So what we're going to do is I do, of course, have some slides because, you know, we do slides. And so I am going to play some slides for you. Well, not play them, but I am going to go ahead and share the slides with you. All right. Okay. We are ready for that?
We are ready. Take it away, take the spotlight and the center stage, Sir Arthur
Right,
Carmazzi.
and here we are. Okay, you can see the slides, right? It says, what does it say?
Why the COVID-19 crisis?
That is correct. You win. Yay! Okay, so all right. So here's what we're going to do. Okay, first of all, we are going to basically talk a little bit about, the about this whole COVID-19 thing. All right, and why essentially this is all happening and everything else. But before we do, just in case, I mean, I've Mr. Mavalat has given me this awesome thing, but at the end of the day, I mean, who am I? I've written a whole bunch of books, ranked in, the number 4 in organizational culture. But one of the key things that you should do with any speaker, okay, don't, because everybody's going to tell you how awesome they are and everything else. But, the reality is, if you're going to listen to somebody, I mean, you got to make sure they're credible. So look them up on Google. Look them up on Google. So please feel free to just look me up on Google rather than having me tell you how awesome I am, because essentially that Google is not going to lie. Okay. So let's just kind of go through the idea of some of the research that's been done about engagement. Okay. Now, engagement as a global problem has been essentially a global problem, and where you literally have only about 18% recently, according to a Gallup study, of the world's workforce that is engaged, which kind of sucks because that means that pretty much everybody else is less engaged, or for that matter, actively disengaged, which sucks even more. All right. So, now, based on another study that we've done, all right, so let's just take organizational culture, all right? So organizational culture, when we did our study, the mean of organizational culture meant that 100 people did the work of, 100 people. I mean, that makes sense, right? Okay, so the problem was that in a lower culture, okay, in a culture that was considered not a good organizational culture, 100 people were doing the work of 168 people. Sorry, 68 people, not 168 people. All right, which basically mean that based on the average, that the ROI you're getting on your people was already 32% less effective, and that's based on the mean. Okay, but in a positive organizational culture, or what was considered a good culture by the people themselves, okay, 100 people were doing the work of 151 people. All right, now this is the basic math. Now, for those of you that are math whizzes, you're saying, but Arthur, how can you possibly get 151% efficiency? Well, see, that's the thing, right? It's technically, it's not really 151%. Okay. See, when people are operating at their actual best means that if you hire me, and let's just say, for example, you hire me at $1,000 a month. Okay. Well, the expectation is that you're paying me $1,000 a month, that my value is going to be $1,000 a month. And if I am operating at my potential, I am giving you $1,000 a month worth of my value. Okay. The problem is that most cultures, the mean is actually lower, or creating a lower potential for the average person. So in a high performing culture, basically what you're getting is you're getting people who are already producing at their potential. Anything else is less than their potential. But based on the average, that is 151% more than most organizations. Okay? So why is this important? Well, because culture essentially is one of the elements that we're going to be talking about today. And it's important because we're going to have, we have a once literally in a lifetime opportunity, at least we hope, with this whole COVID-19 thing, to improve our organizational culture. And I'm going to share with you how, but let me give you a little bit of an idea. So first of all, in the chat right now, I would like you to tell me, okay, whether you believe that organizational culture and engagement, okay, are essentially connected? Do you think that a higher organizational culture improves engagement? Okay, do you think that a better organizational culture improves engagement? So just on a scale of 1 to 5, put 5, it's the most. Yes, it definitely improves engagement. And 1, it's not really connected so much. So just write down what you think. So scale of 1 to 5. Okay, awesome, awesome. So most of the people out there think that, yes, okay, that 5, essentially, organizational culture improves engagement. Now, there's a lot of factors in organizational culture, like leadership, for example, which we'll kind of go into in a little bit. But for the most part, organizations feel that engagement is very important, and engagement does definitely relate to efficiency, productivity, and more importantly, innovation, especially nowadays. Would you agree with that? Okay, so if we've got 82% basically of the worldwide workforce that is not really engaged, that means that a lot of our organizations, a lot of our people are not really producing at their potential. Now, if you take Gallup's study, and basically they found that 59% lower turnover when people are engaged, and 21% higher profitability for companies who have engaged individuals, which also is directly related to organizational culture. Okay, so now enter the coronavirus. Dun, dun, dun! Okay, and the coronavirus now, everybody's freaking out, and everybody's like, now you're stuck at home, and you've got all these different problems, and you got all these things going on, and people are starting to feel uncertain and everything else, and stressed out. Hey, I got a question for you. Okay, in how many of you, on a scale of 1 to 5, all right, 5 being totally stressed out, unsure, okay, and 1 being like, hey, I'm chilled, man, you know, everything is cool, I like being at home, home is the best place to be, okay, and of course 3 is like right in the middle, right? Okay, so 5 being totally like stressed out, 1 being totally in the zone, and 3 being kind of right in the middle. So where are you now in this whole coronavirus thing? Okay, are you feeling uncertain, kind of stressed, irritable, or are you kind of like, feeling good? What's the deal? Okay, so we got, all right, awesome. Okay, so we've got, okay, so we got a good mix there of people. All right, okay. 2.5. There's always somebody. All right. Okay. So let us continue on. All right. So the current state of uncertainty and disruption, you've got a lot of people who are freaked out, especially related to their jobs. I mean, that's really the thing is like, the normal job that people were doing is a little bit different, right? There's people that are not necessarily, they're not really doing it as much in the way that they were before. People are often feeling a little bit uncertain about, am I adding value? I mean, what's going to happen later? And uncertainty, of course, creates cortisol in your body, which essentially makes you get sick more easily. And you'll notice, even if you don't get the coronavirus, there's been a lot of people that have been getting more sick, okay? And the reason is not because there's just more flu and more stuff out there, but because your immune system is down because of uncertainty and fear and these different things that are happening during this unique time in our lives, right? And sometimes people are at home, they're just kind of like thinking and oh, what's going to happen, when we go back, and all these different things, which kind of is not necessarily good for people. So, okay, here's the opportunity. And now let me ask you a question on this, all right? Okay, so first of all, okay, I'm just going to go through this, and then I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to go through these 3 points. First of all, do you think that organizations want to improve work culture in general? Not now, okay? I'm just talking in general. Okay, but one of the biggest problems with organizations that have wanted to improve their work culture, basically it's too busy. I mean, they've got all these things going on, they've got these things happening, and so therefore, well, basically they don't do it because too much work, too much expense, and you got to get all this stuff done. Okay, number one. Now, people in general, okay, definitely want to have a better working environment, but they get to work and it's like they got to focus on their jobs and they're just too busy to actually focus on the environment and creating a better workplace and everything else because they're busy. Okay. And of course, if people had the potential to be listened to on literally how to create their organization so that they could be more successful in the organization and be more productive, do you think that people would get excited? Okay, so I just want to ask you, in your opinion, okay, is this true? Are these three statements true? Okay, do you believe that these statements are true? So just write down yes, no, okay, based on your opinion. So do you think that these statements are true? All right. Okay, so we've got, okay, yes, okay. Awesome. All right, and this is essentially what we find as well. I mean, how many of you have been in that situation where you just know you could do more? I mean, you've got these ideas and everything else, but for some reason your supervisor's just not letting you, or you're stuck because there's just too much work to do and you've got your KPIs and you just don't have time to actually go into it. But you know that you could do so much better if people would just allow you to just kind of come up with implementing some ideas. Okay. But we just don't, or they don't listen. Okay. And so that essentially is where this opportunity comes in, because right now we're not that busy. We're not as busy as we used to be. We're not busy doing all these different things, and we're not busy doing all those other things. And now we've got a lot of time to think and innovate and get together virtually, of course, but still the opportunity to come together and do some serious teamwork, okay, is better now than it ever has been before, because we don't have all of these other time constraints and everything else that we've got. So, okay, here's the thing. Crisis, and tell me if you believe this to be true or not, all right? Crisis brings people together if they have a common goal, okay? Yes or no? Just type it in there. Do you think yes or this is a true statement? Okay, crisis brings people together if they have a common goal. And this thing here, see, this is, for those of you, anybody that knows history, if you'll notice, I mean, let's say, for example, Arminius basically got all of the Germanic tribes that were being oppressed by the Romans, and they were all fighting against each other, and he united them against the Romans, which, of course, was the beginning of the fall of the Roman Empire. But the thing is that, see, that was a crisis. People were being oppressed and everything else. But now, because they all got together, they were able to have a major force, and a force that literally toppled one of the major empires in the past. And think of what we could do for our positive organizational culture if we could come together to basically solve all of our problems that we've been having before this whole coronavirus thing happened. What if we could really bring out the best of who we were and work together and come together to innovate and solve the problems that our organizations have? Do you think that people would be excited? Okay. Now, in order to do this, we have to have essentially one idea. Okay. We have to have one thing which we consider the common purpose, the common goal. Now, I would like to ask you a question. Do you believe that people have the same idea or similar, very, very similar ideas for the ideal working environment, or that they would be totally different? Okay, just write either say similar or different inside the chat, okay, based on what you think. Okay, what do you think? Similar ideas or different? Write it down. What do you think? Okay, we've got a lot of people saying different. Okay. Very different ideas. Okay, I'm going to tell you something, okay, that this is based on our research in 57 different countries, okay? Everybody was asked, everybody from CEOs to janitors, okay? PhDs to high school dropouts, okay? Different cultures, different religions, different customs, young people, old people, okay? I mean, different, literally a complete cross-reference of humanity across the world. And pretty much everybody has similar ideas to what the ideal working environment is. Would you like me to share those with you? That was a question. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share it with you. Okay. You ready? I'm going to share it with you. And then you tell me if this is right. All right. All right. First of all, okay, people want teamwork. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, we want to work together. We want to have teamwork. We want people to connect and communicate with each other. So teamwork is one of the key things. All right. And I want you to think about this as I'm telling you this. Is this something that you would want? Okay. Now, people want trust, something related to trust. Now, trust could be something like, oh, I want to be innovative, or I want to try things my own way. I want to, implement my own ideas. Okay. But for some reason, people just don't let me do it. They don't trust me. Okay. But trust also meant, where people will essentially trust that you're going to be accountable for your work also. So from a management perspective, yeah, I got to be able to trust that people really want to do and are implementing what they want. So something related to trust, either being trusted to do stuff or essentially being able to trust other people to do what they're supposed to do. Something related to clarity. Right? Clarity could be things like transparency. I mean, if I know what's going on, it's a lot easier for me to actually come up with a overall perspective of what I should do. Clarity on what I need to do. Okay, what do I need to do in order to succeed? I mean, in some cases it could be structure. In some cases it could be, a vision. It could be, a variety of things. But at least, do I have a direction? Do I have a clear way of doing things or a clear direction on how to get there? So something related to clarity. Okay, and then a supportive environment. So let's say, for example, you're in the marketing department, and for some, there's something that you need, and let's say you, as the marketing guy, can go and talk to the CFO to try to rearrange the budget, and the CFO actually listens to you, and so then you've got this supportive environment where people, including the CEO and all these other people, are actually communicating, talking to each other, and trying to support each other and each department because of the common goal of the organization rather than the common goal of the department. Okay? And so then finally, of course, people want to have fun. People want, do you like having fun? I mean, who wants to go to work and be boring all the time? I mean, that sucks, man. So, okay, first of all, do you agree in general that these are that you would want these things? Okay, because this is more or less, okay, what most people come up with across 57 different countries. These are the basic ideas that most people come up with, regardless of culture, age, position, etc. Okay, do you agree? Yes or no? Okay, all right. Yes. Okay, so that means we have a common vision. But the reason, even though we have this common vision, we've always had this common vision, okay? The thing is that we don't implement it because we're all focused on the process instead of the actual objective. We're all busy, okay? Until now, this unique opportunity. So now if we have human beings and we put them together with a purpose, and that purpose would be basically to create the ideal working environment and solve some problems. Okay, do you think that people are going to be more excited and be more creative problem solvers and basically be more productive and come up be able to brainstorm together and come up and solve some serious problems? Just type yes if you believe that to be true. Just type yes. Do it now. Yeah. Sorry, sometimes I get a little excited. Okay, so what happens now? Okay, yes, everybody is excited. Okay, because it's true. Really. Okay, so what happens now? We combine people with purpose, and basically amazing things happen. All right, and so okay, this ideal working environment. So this is what we're going to do. Okay, because before we start anything, we have to know where we are. Right. Okay, so anything that, so in order to get your people started to create this ideal working environment, okay, they need to know where they are, right? So there is essentially these different levels of organizational culture evolution, right? And so the first thing you got to know is, where are you? So that is the beginning point of your map. And why is it important to have a benchmark? Because as human beings, we want to be able to see progress. And if we can see progress, we can see that what we're doing is having an effect. And we can see that it's having an effect that gets us more excited. It's kind of like me and the violin. I don't know, does anybody play violin here? Okay, I've been trying to play violin, right? And I really suck at it. I mean, it's like I really, really suck at it. But the moment that I finished that one first song, I was very excited and I wanted to learn another song. So once you kind of get that one thing, you start to see some actual progress. It makes you excited to do more, make it bigger, be better. Okay? And so we need to know where we start. So, okay, the only problem is that if you actually look it up on Google, cost of a culture audit, it's like between $20,000 to $35,000, right? It's like the CEOs are going, holy smokes! I can't, that's crazy. And you know what? Especially right now at this time, it is crazy. Why would anybody kind of spend that kind of money for a culture audit? But what if we could do it for absolutely free? Okay, and this is something that we are actually doing. Okay, we are giving away free culture audits. Okay, for the COVID-19, and let me explain why we're doing this. Okay, I mean, there's a business reason, right? But see, here's the thing: first of all, we have trained and certified over 60 certified organizational culture consultants. Okay. And so these people basically need to practice, number one. So that means when they do these culture audits, we're getting all of these people who have built up and gone through this whole intensive program in order to understand how to do a culture audit. So that's one. Now, second is, okay, it's all coming through us and, our company and everything else. And what happens if you help people, eventually the people remember you after the whole thing is all over, and maybe they'll give you some business, right? So that's kind of the whole business thing behind it. So we're giving these things away. Okay, so that organizations can help not just, okay, understand where they are, but also the strategy of how they can get their people excited about doing it based on whatever happens in the culture audit. Okay, so all of this stuff that normally would cost between $4,000 to $12,000 is free. Okay, now what happens in a culture audit, you get to determine the health of the organization. One of the key things is you identify a lot of the root cause problems of many of the different inefficiencies. Okay, you help to set a direction for evolving the company some more. Okay, you identify where the lost or potentially extra potential of employee groups are. Okay, and of course, all of this is kind of explained what you should do next in order to evolve your company, to get your people, to facilitate your people to create this ideal working environment. And the thing is that they can do this virtually by themselves. All right. So let me kind of give you a little bit of idea of culture evolution. All right. So first of all, okay, there's 5 different levels of culture evolution. How many of you have an awareness of where your organizational culture is now? Just write yes, no, and if it's a more or less semi, not sure, just put no. Okay, so if you know what organizational culture you currently have, just put yes. If not, just put no. Okay. So this is going to give you, because often, a lot of times people are not aware that their organizational culture is creating a lot of the root cause problems in their company's efficiency and communication issues, and for that matter, profitability. Okay. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of an idea of what the different evolutions are. Okay, so first of all, the lowest possible culture is the blame culture. Now, if you're in a blame culture, it's basically not a safe environment. So that means that people are not going to be innovative because what if they're wrong? What if they get blamed? What if, like, I try something and it doesn't work and, it's just not safe? Better to just wait and let people tell me what to do. Okay, so that's the blame culture, right? So they're not really coming up with new ideas, but because they have lots of ideas, they're very frustrated. And so therefore they are not very engaged. Okay, so this makes a very inefficient organization, right? Now, the next one is the multi-directional culture. So within your department, everything's fine, right? I mean, you're communicating, you're doing your stuff, you're doing your job. Within the department, everything's okay. But when it comes to cross departments, there's not really that much communication. There's gossip. People are kind of talking about the finance department and the HR department, and and like, oh, did you hear what they did? And then and it's like, oh my gosh, no way. And so there's just, these are called silos essentially, and that affects the overall ability of the organization to achieve its goals. Okay. So the next one is the live and let live culture. Now this one, basically it's okay. I mean, we're making money, everything's fine. I mean, there's, it's not broken. Why should we fix it? So, everything just kind of goes. People show up to work, they do their jobs. I mean, it's nothing exciting, but it's not bad either. It's just kind of like the status quo, just like, I'm here, man. Do my job. Okay, and so of course then we go to the next one, which is the brand congruent culture. Now this is where you're thinking, whoa, I am part of the Ariva Academy. Okay, I am awesome because, like, wow, this is an organization that I am proud of. Okay, whatever your brand is, whatever it is that you sell or whatever service that you do, okay, people are kind of, they're excited about it. They live this thing. It's like, whoa, and people, even after work, people say, hey, yeah, I work for this company. Yeah, I'm awesome. And so they're excited about the actual brand itself. And of course, the highest level of organizational culture, and there's not that many organizations out there that have reached this, is what we call the leadership enriched culture. Now, in this organizational culture, let's say, for example, that you have just started a new job, and you're in the organization for like 3 weeks. Okay. And because of your newness, you're kind of looking around and seeing what's going on and everything else. And you've got some really good ideas and you're excited about these ideas and like you're super passionate. And so then what ends up happening is that you talk to like your supervisor and the supervisor says, hey, that's an interesting idea. And so then they get the CEO involved, and so basically now you, who just started this job 3 weeks ago, are in charge of this project, which is your idea, and you're telling your supervisor what you need from them, and you're telling the CEO what you need from them, and they support you. Okay, because it's not an ego thing. It is about creating unified growth for the organization, and everybody basically has the opportunity to be a leader if they have the excitement, the plan, and essentially the energy to make it happen. Okay, and so this is the leadership enriched culture. Okay, so if you're going to benchmark organizational culture, we use the OCEAN tool. Okay, the OCEAN tool. Let me just kind of type down what that is. Okay, you can find that at, let's see, cultureevolution.com. There you go. I just put it in the chat. I think that's right. Okay. And okay, so I think that was sent accidentally privately, but anyway, whatever, maybe you can just put that out there to everyone. Okay, there we go. Okay, so anyway, there it is. So anyway, culture evolution, this tool, the OCEAN tool, Organizational Culture Evolution Assessment Navigator, helps you to benchmark. Okay, and so as a benchmark, it gives you a place to start. But it's called a navigator because it also helps you to navigate how to get from wherever you are to the next level. And that's important because remember, measurement is a key factor in supporting people's success. Okay? So we want to show people how to measure all this and what it all means. Okay? So let me explain how this whole thing is going to help. Now, first of all, remember that one of the key things we're getting people to do is help them to create the ideal working environment, okay? Now, one of the other things that is going to need to happen, okay, is they're going to need to say, okay, here we are, we're here at this level, and we now need to evolve to the next level, or at least improve these different levels so that we can have our ideal working environment. Now, management, this is important because if you're a leader, a manager, CEO here, management needs to provide a platform and the guidelines and the permission, most important, the permission for the people to create the culture they want. And some managers and CEOs are going, oh my gosh, what if they come up with other stuff? Okay, first of all, I mean, you set a specific guidelines like you can't increase your salaries, okay? So simple things like that. But, you know, I guarantee you we have done this in, you know, lots of different places, lots of different organizations, lots of different countries. And the people always are in line with what is good for the organization. I guarantee it, okay? They never, you know, try to do something against the organization. Okay, I mean, we've done this for governments, we've done this for small organizations as well as big organizations. The people are always having in mind how they can be successful and help the organization to be successful in the process, because people want to succeed in their jobs. Okay, and when they can have the environment to do that in, okay, then they're feeling that they have a sense of ownership. So by giving them permission to come up with their culture, okay, you are essentially taking no risk. I mean, because people are generally going to be benevolent. Okay, so anyway, then of course the teams, including everyone in the organization, are essentially formed to create the ideal working environment. And you already know what the ideal working environment is. But the other thing that they want to do is that in order to create this ideal working environment, people are going to have to come up with certain behaviors, right? That means, if I'm going to be in this kind of, if I'm going to create this kind of working environment, one thing that we need to do is create a no blame zone, means we don't blame each other. So that is a guiding principle. So, for example, that you know, and this is something that management cannot blame me. I cannot blame management. I can't blame these guys. All these different people, whatever it is that you come up with, they come up with the ideas, right? Okay, but the thing is that they hold each other accountable for the behaviors. Now, a lot of the CEOs are thinking, but Arthur, we've already got our company values, okay, that we've already created just for that purpose. Okay, and I would like to ask you a question, okay? Do you have children? See, here's the thing. When you tell your children these are the rules, okay, especially as they start to get older, they sneak behind your back if the rules are a little bit, because you're the parent, right? You know, you're the authority, okay? But if they come up with the idea themselves, okay? So for example, I say, do your homework. They will procrastinate on their homework. But if I ask them questions and they come up with a better, more fun way to do their homework, guess what? They're doing their homework. It's the same thing, right? But the thing is that they came up with the idea, and so therefore they are more excited about implementing it than if I were to tell them. And human beings that are older are just larger children. Okay, so think about that, all right? Okay, let the people come up with the guiding principles, and we use a particular tool, okay, that gamifies behavior. I'm going to put that in the chat right here. Okay, So this tool is called Squadly, and it gamifies behavior. It gamifies behavior. All right. So please, actually, I think these are going privately. So please go ahead and put them in so that everybody gets them. Because I just put it in the chat. Okay. Yeah, maybe not. Okay. So these are to Irish who. Okay. Let's see. Maybe. All right. Let me just redo this. It says all participants and attendees. It's not working.
Or you can try, Sir Arthur, the Q&A. You can type it there, so everybody. No, we see it now.
Oh, you see it now?
Yes, Squaddy.
Okay, there it is.
Squaddy.com.
Okay, that's one. And the previous one was this one, which was the culture tool, the ocean tool. There we go. Okay, I got it. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. So anyway, now besides the guiding principles, all right, the other thing that people are going to want to do is they're going to want to fix some problems. All right. Now, when you get a whole bunch of people to literally come up with ideas on how to fix their own problems, I can guarantee you the people themselves are going to be way better at really solving a lot of these problems than the senior management. Why? Because the people are the ones that are in it. And just to give you an idea, right? We had, there was one organization, it's called Techneep, and we specifically worked with a joint venture between Techneep and the Malaysian ports. What Techneep does is they build offshore oil rigs, right? Okay. So anyway, senior management would, brought us in to do this culture change initiative, implementation, and everything else. One of the things the people came up with, we didn't do this. All we do is facilitate the people, right? Okay. The people came up with this idea because they had all these different engineers. They got, water engineers and fluid dynamics engineers and electrical engineers and mechanical engineers and all these different kinds of engineers, right? And they're all separated into these different divisions and departments. So the people thought, hey, because all of these guys need to be integrated and we need to move our desks. And before, of course, the senior management thought, it's kind of messy and it's not really going to be helpful. But because they were in charge and they came up with this whole thing to decide, they decided. And just a simple thing like moving the desks of different people so that they were mixed in different groups, okay, increased their productivity, their engineer productivity by something like 37%, okay? And it was just one thing and it didn't cost anything, right? So, I mean, you end up, people come up with these brilliant ideas, okay? And if you allow the people to come up with all these different ideas and come up with different ways to solve problems, and just say 3 problems. So you get these individuals to come up with 3 problems that they want to solve. And there's key influencers that are basically your informal leaders. Get them to kind of lead the teams. And then you will literally get everybody excited about not only solving your problems, but also connecting how they're solving those problems into the ideal working environment. And then, of course, you also get you get people to create who's going to be accountable, right? So in each of these different groups that are coming together to put stuff together, it's like, oh, okay, so you're going to do this and you're going to do this, and people volunteer for this stuff. People will volunteer because they have a personal vested interest. Okay. And then you elect a couple of people at the end of the program, at the end of this whole thing, to make sure that all this stuff stays implemented and that all the communications are back and forth and that everything is communicated properly. And all of these different initiatives that the people have come up with are consistently communicated, okay, of what's going on and what's happening and what's the progress, because that is one of the key things that keeps people excited and keeps this sustainable. Okay. Now, okay, I'm not going to go into this because I don't want to go and I don't want to overshoot. But just to kind of give you, I've got a few infographics here. But tell you what, I'll give you later on. I'll give you my email and I'll send you all these infographics. But for now, just okay. Besides doing this for the culture audit, one of the key things you're going to do is get people aligned with a common vision and values. Okay, because remember those behaviors that you can use the Squadly tool for, okay, those can also be connected to the values, okay? whenever you're doing any kind of training, whether it's online, okay, right now, for example, if you understand what your culture is first, then you actually are able to see if this training that you're doing has any effect whatsoever. Okay, a lot of times organizations are just doing training as a quick fix. Oh, we have this problem, we have this need, okay, and they're not really addressing the root cause, which is the culture. Okay, and sometimes the training does some effect, and sometimes when people go back, they just get busy, and all of the training time and effort and money is basically not really as effectively implemented. Okay, so by understanding the first part of your organizational culture benchmark, you are ready to identify how to improve communications, identify the ROI on your training, and of course get people excited when they're first hired, as well as to consistently improve innovation. Now, this basically goes through the whole 12 steps of what you can do. Again, I'm not going to go through this because there's limited time, but I'll give you this infographic later on. And let me just kind of go through this one just briefly. Okay, so we've talked through the different levels of organizational culture evolution, right? Now, in order to achieve this, there's basically 5 things that need to happen, right? Number 1, okay, you have to have the greater purpose. What's the greater purpose? Ideal working environment, right? So the ideal working environment can be that greater purpose because everybody kind of connects to it, right? Now, the second thing is having a methodology for change. Now, the methodology could be something as simple as measuring behaviors and measuring the evolution and gamifying behaviors, like we did, for example, with Squadly. So it could be as simple as that, or in some cases, I mean, when we also implement directive communication psychology, which is the science of group dynamics, and get people to understand how and why they're doing what they do, and how other people are not actually doing what they think they're doing, which creates more synergy and kind of helps to have a greater understanding of how to connect and really achieve things together with people. And of course that improves relationships and everything else. Okay, so there's everything in between. You could have your own ideas of methodology and everything else, and then a common language. I mean, so for example, one of our models is the colored brain. Okay, so the colored brain identifies how people genetically get clarity, right? Now, it's not a personality thing, it's just how you get clarity. So it's a genetic thing, you can't change it. So here's the thing, if for example, when you're approaching something in this way, I mean, for you, it's kind of like you're looking through colored glasses. I mean, it's just obvious, it's common sense, right? But somebody else looks at the same thing and they're looking like, what? Okay, and so what ends up happening is that there's a lot of misunderstanding, miscommunication, and also people start to judge each other, which creates a reduction in trust. Okay, and it's all just because of a genetic function of how you get clarity. Okay, and so by helping people to kind of understand this, and there's an online system that connects everybody and shows where everybody is in their danger zone and everything else, and helps them to get out of the danger zone and gamifies it as well, what happens is that people tend to be more aware, and they use the languages, like, for example, oh, dude, you're green brain. No, okay, but remember, I'm purple. And so therefore, they start using the language of what it all means and doing it in a fun way. So there is a predefined communication that is non-confrontational that basically helps people to get things done. Now, the next one is the unified identity, and this one's super important, okay? Unified identity is the club. I mean, if you're going to create a culture, you're going to get your people to create a culture. This is super important. Your people need to own the culture. The culture is not owned by the organization. The people need to own the culture. Why? Because, they're the ones that are creating it, and they're the ones that are perpetuating it. And as new people come in, they continue to perpetuate it if those people feel that they have a sense of ownership, right? Okay. And when, so for example, when we do these implementation programs, people choose, names for their culture, like, oh, we're the revolutionary patriots, or we're the Knights of Transformation, or the rainbow, what do they call, the rainbow pioneers of success. So they got all these different names that they come up with, right? But people, it's like, I belong to the club, and there's always going to be those few people that are like, why are you having so much fun? Okay, this is supposed to be work. It's supposed to be difficult. Okay, you're not supposed to be happy. Okay, and so you got a few of those, right? And what ends up happening is that they end up kind of not being in the club, okay, because they're like that, right? And so therefore, eventually, either they quit, get fired, or join the club, and that's a key factor. And then, of course, the supportive environment in this case means, like, let's say that me as a person want to, let's say, stop smoking, okay, and that means that I tell everybody, hey, I want to stop smoking. And the people, because they're in part of my supportive environment, help me to personally achieve my goal. Okay. Like you guys were playing that skin thing, commercial in the beginning. Hey, it's like, help me to get my skin feeling good and stuff, right? So you can do all kinds of stuff with that. Okay. So if you want to find out more about the process, there's this giant article at culturechange.academy. Here, let me go ahead and so this is just an article about everything that I've talked about, and I'm going to put that right here. Okay, and so that okay, that works. Okay, so this gives you this will tell you more or less the entire process in much more detail than what I was just talking about now. Okay, and it's a long document. Okay, so putting the unified identity, because people own it. Okay, I mean the culture belonging to the people, and then again, I'm not going to go through this in detail, but this is where you have to have once you get this started, make sure that you have your people that kind of show the journey and show what's happening at each stage in the journey. And then we've created these infographics to help people kind of show what's going on and what's happening and everything else. And get people to map out their success. I mean, that's really the key. Remember, measurement supports progress and excitement and passion. Okay? And once you've got people to the point, then of doing something, and look what we've done, and we've created these guiding principles, we've done this, then measure the organizational culture again. And and then it'll compare what you did with the benchmark against where you are now. Okay? And all of this is part of the thing that we're talking about, where we're going to absolutely help you for free. Now, if you'd like the slides and the infographics, go ahead and send me an email, okay, right here if you want all of the slides and graphics, okay, just right here, and let me put my email in here as well. Okay, so so you can just send me an email. I'll send you all of the slides and the graphics from that. Okay, now additionally, okay, I have okay, so we've got a little bit of time. I'm going to share with you just briefly some of the different things that we've done with some of the clients that we've had. Okay, so for example, these are real statistics from situations that we've done. So this is Emirates Hotels, right? Now, one of the things that we helped to achieve with Emirates Hotels was a 62% increase in productivity in housekeeping. Right now, let me explain a little bit about this. See, before, these were big, giant rooms at Emirates Hotels. And so they had 2 housekeeping guys, and they had to do 8 rooms up to specs. And so they were always complaining, oh, you don't know how hard it is to, achieve these, and you don't have any idea how difficult it is. And, management is just, they don't understand, and yada, 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 yada. Okay, at the end of this program, the same people, okay, we're basically saying, oh man, hey, we did 11 rooms, man. And the other guys, no way, 11. Oh, you just watch. Tomorrow we're going to do 12. And they were excited. It's the same rooms. Okay, the same rooms they were complaining about doing 8, now they're, extra productive with, the amount of stuff that they were working on for that. Okay. Resort World. Okay. Resort World, it's huge. It's this giant organization. They have casinos and theme parks and hotels and restaurants and everything. And so these guys were completely like huge silos in all of these different things. And the parks and all of these things. I mean, there was people were always calling in sick and everything else. There was a 63% reduction in absenteeism. Okay. Goody is a Saudi Arabian company. These guys were awesome. I mean, from the very beginning, they were already a brand congruent culture. They were like, really excited about being, like this awesome Saudi company that nobody else could touch in the region. And they were Saudi, and they were all Saudi, and they were very proud of that. And so even though they had already, started at a high level, they managed to get because these guys, they sell consumer goods, right? So they had people in different supermarkets. So their retail brand ambassador sales increased by 32% because they were able to really get the people at the ground level, to do more, to take on a more leadership role and come up with their own ideas and stuff of how to basically sell their stuff. Technique, again, this is the one that I was telling you about, a 37% increase in engineering productivity just from one thing, which was moving their desks around. Okay. And then so this one was fun. I mean, can you imagine a joint venture between a German company, okay, Mercedes or Daimler, okay, and a Chinese company, which is, BYD, which is the largest electric car company. So they came up with, Denza, which is the luxury electric car, right? These guys were having some issues, German processes, Chinese processes didn't really mix. So anyway, they basically had some issues, but they already had a certain amount of pride with the concept that they were creating, and so we were able to help them expand on that pride to overcome all of the different issues and get the Germans to relax a little bit and get the Chinese to be a little bit more in line, and everybody basically managed to work together. It was really good. So all of this starts with a personal, with the organizational culture audit. And as I mentioned, we would like to, for the COVID-19 thing, do this for free. You're welcome to go to COVID-19 cultureevolution.com and sign up. Okay, it's absolutely free, no hidden cost, no nothing. Okay, it's just actually free. And here's the thing for it. Okay. So all you have to do is just tell us about your company and what you want. And I'm open for questions now.
Thank you so much, Sir Arthur Carmazzi. Big hand, everyone. That was an amazing presentation.
Well, thank you. Okay, I didn't hear anybody clapping, though.
Well, everybody's clapping in Facebook Live right now. And,
awesome.
We thank you so much, Sir Arthur. Thank you for your energy, for your passion. Thank you for the information you've shared with us. And see, they're now flooding us with thank yous and appreciation. Okay, so thank you, sir, for making it on time. I mean, that's exactly an hour of presentation. I love the material you presented, the deck you presented. So colorful, it reflects the kind of personality you have. Truly animated, highly energized, and we appreciate that. Now, for our participants' sake, we'll give them a 2-minute break. Will that be okay, Sir Arthur?
Absolutely.
Okay, so everybody, don't you go away. We'll pause for a 2-minute break, and when we return, we'll be entertaining your questions, and of course, Sir Arthur Carmazzi will answer them one by one. Thank you so much. Don't you go away, our dear participants. See you in 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Every coffee needs a lotus.
Part. So welcome back to our session. This is the second part. If the
Yay!
if the first part was truly exciting, this second part will be even more interesting. Why? Because we can hear your thoughts, and Sir Arthur Carmazzi will answer it personally for you, but at least face to face virtually. So we encourage you, Zoom participants, because you are all we see now. By the way, we'd like to acknowledge our participants who are watching now via YouTube, LinkedIn, and of course FB Live. So for our Zoom participants, please type in your questions. There's a Q&A box. So type in your question. But more exciting would be if you will do a Zoom live question. So click the raise button so we can see you, we can hear you. You can have a banter with Sir Arthur. And for our Facebook Live viewers, type in your questions. We're monitoring it right now, and we'll reading it one by one. So, Sir Arthur, is it okay with you if I just greet our out-of-town participants?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. We have participants from Baguio City, Cebu City, Pampanga, and Davao City. Thank you so much to our out-of-town participants. And just like what I mentioned before we pause for a break, this will be uploaded on YouTube. We're now live streaming, but this will be uploaded permanently. And for as long as internet is there, this will perpetually be viewed and absorbed, and people will be learning from the teachings.
And of course, if you want to get a whole bunch of videos that I produce on a regular basis, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Carmazzi TV.
Oh, it's Carmazzi, not Carmazzi. I'm really sorry.
Well, because it depends. I mean, Carmazzi, if you were Italian.
But you're an Italian who was born in the US. Am I correct?
Yes.
So, Carmazzi.
Two Z's.
Carmazzi. Okay. So, sir, can we proceed to the question in our box?
I'm ready.
This is from, let me just get my reading glasses. Okay, this is from Rico. I would like to ask, what can Sir Arthur Carmazzi suggest for an org when leaders have more of they have more of a live and let live culture and multi-directional culture?
Well, I mean, that's kind of the whole point, right? I mean, the whole point is to evolve. Now, the leaders themselves, this has to be, everything that I've just said only works if senior management is involved, right? I mean, senior management right now has to listen. I mean, but the thing is that, and a couple of things, okay? So first of all, get the HR people first to find key influencers. And you can do that by simply asking questions. Hey, who are the people that you respect the most in your department or in other departments or whatever, right? These people have influence, okay? And then if the senior managers can connect with these people, well, it's kind of like, you know, getting an influencer from Instagram promoting your stock, right? So if people have influence in the organization and the senior management connect with them and listen, okay, because remember that those people, those influencers also need to listen to the rest of the people, but the rest of the people will trust them more because they're influencers. So they will kind of give real feedback, and that real feedback can make its way back to senior management, which essentially can make things happen. Okay, but remember that the senior manager has to give permission to the people to essentially come up with the culture they want. And regardless of whether even you're at blame culture, if senior management gives you the permission to do it, okay, the people will facilitate that evolution. Okay, and senior manager has to be involved. I mean, you have to tell senior management, okay, this is what we're come up with, this was what we're doing. Okay.
Thank you so much, Sir Arthur. Now we have a Facebook Live question from Christine Angelica Ferrer Nero. What is the gamified tool you use?
Oh, Squadly. Okay.
Squadly.
See, Squadly, it measures behaviors, right? So here's the thing. Okay, let's say, for example, that as an organization, one of the things that you want to do is essentially, let's just say you want to increase sales, right? Everybody wants to increase sales, all right? But increasing sales is not only the function of the sales team, right? It can be a lot of different factors involved. But let's just say, for example, that the different departments, okay, can contribute to sales, okay, if there are certain things that they do, right? So anything that you come up with as an objective, okay, let's just say it could be sales or it could be cross-departmental cooperation, okay? Anything that is an objective, if you reverse engineer that objective, you're going to end up getting behaviors, right? So that means if I need to do more sales, okay, I will need to do X, and you know, my people in customer service will need to do X, and these are the behaviors that everybody has to do is X and X. Okay, so there's a certain level of certain types of behaviors that if those behaviors are consistently done by people, they will achieve the ultimate result, right? So all you're doing is taking your KPIs and reverse engineering those KPIs. Okay, so see, right now, I mean, think about it. Okay, let's say, for example, you have an annual review or maybe a biannual review. So every 6 months or at best, okay, a quarterly review. Well, yeah, that's great, except that, you know, if it's, let's say the annual review, people only start doing stuff to kind of get excited about the annual review like about a month before the annual review. And that's what people, the managers usually see. I mean, you could, you know, so basically you're teaching people, hey, it's okay to screw up totally and slack off in the beginning of the year as long as you're good by the end of the review, right? So what happens is that if you have an opportunity to consistently see if you're doing the right behaviors in line with organizational values or organizational objectives that are going to support those KPIs, you're going to get better results across the board because you're measuring the behaviors and not just the end results that you may or may not be doing the right behaviors to get to. So if you gamify that, and you give points and you give little awards and emoji and make it fun, and like, oh, you're on like this list, or maybe you're on the innovation list, but you're not on the main list. So that way everybody kind of gets a chance to be on a list somewhere, or okay, at one point or another. So people start to get excited and they want to be on the lists. And of course, there's also negative emojis. So let's say, for example, innovation is one of the behaviors that you want, and you do anti-innovation things like blame people, for example, then you get a negative emoji related to innovation.
Wow. Thank you, Sir Arthur. That's very creative of yours. Now, another FP Live question from England, Austin. How do we sustain a positive and happy culture with low to zero budget and while maintaining social distancing?
Well, remember, you first of all, this costs nothing. Okay, what it costs is time. Okay, the people are facilitating this. The people are coming up with this. Okay, and like I said before earlier, with we are doing the culture audits for free so that people have at least a benchmark. Okay, and from there, it's all about the people facilitating that those efforts. Okay. So it doesn't require a budget. It requires time and focus.
And a lot of creativity.
Well, yeah, they definitely have to have some creativity.
Thank you, Sir Arthur. Now, from our Q&A box, Marilu Jane Daaron. How can HR make the employees who work from home be more engaged?
How can what employees who work from home?
Because we have employees who work from home. We have this ECQ, or enhanced community quarantine. Right. We're in a lockdown. So how can we encourage them as HR practitioners to be more engaged?
Well, see, that's the whole point, right? Everything that I've just talked about requires your people to do teamwork online, to get on a Zoom call or a Skype call or whatever you want to use, okay? And actually solve problems. Because if you just say, well, you solved the problem by yourself, well, it's not really going to develop that connection and engagement. The key factor here is getting your people to create cells, okay, or teams that are going to solve these problems and come up with the implementation of their ideal working environment. Okay, that this is where the engagement comes from, is literally from, putting a whole bunch of people together online so that they can connect and communicate and solve problems. And remember that it's important for every team to have somebody that's going to document what happens and essentially report it to the overall group.
Thank you, Sir Arthur. Now, this is a challenging and sadly a real thing that's happening maybe not only in the Philippines, but globally. What if the senior managers and leaders are not supportive of the idea culture evolution?
I mean that then it won't work. I mean, unfortunately, that's just our process actually has. When we implement this, we have a 100% success rate, but we have criteria, right? And one of that criteria is senior management must be involved. They actually, and if you can show, I mean, if they're not so interested, just show them the potential of ROI, right? I mean, at the end of the day, okay, you're paying, again, I mean, just using $1,000 because I deal in dollars. I have no idea what that is in pesos and or any other currency you guys might be out there. But let's just say, for example, $1,000, you get paid $1,000. If you're not engaged, you're basically being paid $1,000 for maybe $600 worth of actual benefit. Wow. Because not that you're not worth $1,000, you're definitely worth $1,000, but the environment isn't supporting you to basically be, your best. It's not supporting your own potential. And if you can show that to the organization, to the people, the senior management that might, be less than adequate leaders, then what happens is that they at least can see, okay, there is a monetary profit benefit here to supporting people to come up with, being innovative and really achieving bigger things for the organization.
Thank you, Sir Arthur. Now we have both a comment and a question from our participant, Amy Cordero. The comment is, very engaging speaker, love the energy. And the question is it best to do org transformation when the company reopens?
Well, see, that's the thing. Right now, you have time.
Start now.
When it reopens, what happens is you're going to be busy again. Right now, you have time and you have the opportunity to connect with everybody on Zoom and maintain that teamwork and that engagement.
Yes.
Right now is the best time. Okay. Once the company implements, if you come up with all these initiatives and you say, hey, okay, so Amy, you're going to be in charge of this when the company reopens, and you're going to be in charge of, and Sam's going to be in charge of that, and Nico's going to be in charge of that. Hey, but meanwhile, what can we do? Here's all the plans, all the stuff. And then when the company opens, it's like, whoosh, okay, you're in there and you're getting, and everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to do and when they're going to do it and how they're going to do it and how to support each other. It's already done.
Amazing energy, amazing thought, amazing passion you have, sir. Now, so from Marilu Jane de Arol, so after the lockdown, let's just say that it ends on May 16. What should be and then they come together and the plans have been laid down and the behavioral changes have been defined. What are the first 3 things that HR should do in terms of organizational culture? I mean, they're physically welcoming.
Okay, so now people, the first thing they should do, they should get everybody in the entire organization in a big, giant auditorium, okay? And the people who have been leading this, all right, that basically have all of the information and everything else, they're going to come up with some skits, okay? Just like a little play. This is what we were doing before COVID-19. Now we've come up with this really cool ideas, and now this is what's going to happen after. So they do these little before and after skits, okay? They present everything that they have come up with to senior management in a way where basically is like, hey, this is what we have come up with, the people have come up with, this is the culture we want, okay? And basically invite senior management to come up and sign, okay, a big whiteboard or whatever, okay, and basically say these are the guiding principles. This is how we want to be treated and how we're willing to treat you and each other. Okay, this is this is the kind of culture that we've designed based on maybe they can make some paintings and stuff and have like a little art gallery of so make it fun and basically get everybody to sign on that. Senior management signs first, then everybody else goes and signs, and to make it like this official big giant document, which is simple, which is essentially who we are and what we represent as a culture and the guiding principles.
I love it. It could be a festive celebration.
Exactly. It should be a festive celebration. And you have fun, and it takes you 2 or 3 hours to do it. Everybody's back on, everybody's excited, and now it's about implementation. And remember, this is the key, is you have to get or the people should elect 2 or 3 people to make sure that this gets implemented. You got all these plans, but somebody has to be in charge of making sure that everything is communicated and everything is implemented. So you promised you were going to do this. Hey, let's follow up on that. Okay, so there's and senior management should also compensate the people who are elected a little bit more, simply because they have their normal job plus this job. But it's important when we do this, we recommend that those elected officials basically only maintain a 3-month term. And then it's time to re-elect somebody else, because then it kind of gets people excited again to basically, because people are getting paid a little extra, so there is more incentive. Plus, of course, there's the leadership track that goes with that and a lot of other potential benefits. Plus, people are making an impact. And so that's one of the things that we recommend.
Thank you, Sir Arthur. I think you just answered the last question of our Q&A box from Marilu Jane Daarol, the key roles of top management on organizational culture.
Yeah, and the key roles of the management are support the people who are essentially managing everything that has already been said. And remember also the other steps that you want to do is do the gamification with the Squadly app, right? Because you want to get people to agree that, you know, these are the behaviors that they want to do, and by being gamified, it basically keeps people in line to exhibit the behaviors that they have agreed to do.
Yes, I agree to that, Sir Arthur. Thank you so much for clearly defining the roles of our top management. Now, we have a live Zoom live question from Christine Senoro. Christine?
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Nice to see you
Hi,
again.
yes.
Oh,
Nice
there
to
you
see you
are.
again, sir.
you.
Yes. Yes, I have lots of questions actually. Hello, Sir Carmazzi. Good morning. So I have attended these webinars for the past days, and I've always raised my question. So like yesterday, about the leadership in time of crisis, which also I've raised a question. So you've been talking about this top 5 culture evolution. So now I've been working in a laboratory for over 16 years now. So, and one thing I've realized over this past years is that the blame culture is always on top of the hierarchy. So, in my opinion, I guess it's not about us, the people or the employees, rather than the supervisor or the immediate manager who's the main problem, as you can see. So, so instead of giving us a something, or she's not a solution also. So how can we improve as an organization if the managers seem to not see us and just do the blame game? So you see, when doubt is found, there is no trust achieved at all. There is no trust at all. I would like to emphasize that. So though some trainings are provided, we still go back to what we are prior. So example, there is an HR training. So we just do this smiley thing, pretending that it's okay. But then after the training, we still go back to what we are prior. So how can we reach that level of leadership in rich culture rather than going back to work and just having us the live and let live culture for the employees? Thank you.
So, all right. So I get you. Now I understand your supervisors here. What about your senior managers? Are they more interested in supporting things, or?
They seem to be supporting, but the manager, the head of the laboratory, isn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. It's called peer pressure. All right.
Exactly.
What you do is you get together with senior management, okay, and you get together with all of the other people in the group that is in the laboratory with you, that is under this supervisor. Okay, and basically here I'm gonna put this down. It's I just put a little link down here called noblame.zone. Okay, you go there, download the no blame zone sign, and it also has instructions on how to create a no blame zone. Okay, and then basically you say, hey, what we want, we have decided as a group, okay, that we want to have a more trusting environment, and we would like to invite you, our manager, okay, don't say our manager who blames us all the time. We want to invite you, our manager, to be a part of this no blame zone so that we can have trust and we can communicate and everything else, and make sure that the senior management puts the freaking sign behind their desk, okay, so that essentially at this kind of process, in this kind of process, you're literally catching people in a positive way if they blame. Okay? So basically, I want you to try this, okay? I want you to try it, all right? Ready? I want you to smile, go like this. Okay? Now, I want you, if there's somebody nearby, I want you to turn around and say, hey, are you blaming? While you're smiling. Okay, now think about this. Just look at what you've just done. See, it makes it fun. Okay, one of the key things about the no blame zone is you make fun of blame, right? So you just, so you're gonna blame. You know what,
It's
Mr.
like a reverse psychology.
Okay, today is what is today? Thursday, Friday.
Friday.
Today's Friday. Every Friday, you're just gonna blame Mr. Mabalat. Okay, doesn't matter whatever happens. Okay, you're just gonna blame him. So you just make fun of blame, and then you catch people doing. If somebody blames you, of course you have to have the sign. You have to explain this in the beginning. You don't just kind of just do it when people don't know what you're doing, right? And because you don't want to blame people for blaming, so you just kind of look at people if they start blaming, and you say, "Are you blaming?" Okay, while you're smiling
with a smiling face. Oh, okay, I get that.
And then it's like, okay, so it basically helps people to realign a more useful behavior without blame in order to get things done. And the alternative to blame is called failing intelligently, where you help people to actually solve their problems and improve their competence in the process. But you can find all of this stuff over at noblame.zone.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
You are very welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Christine. Thank you,
thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, Sir Arthur. We still have another question. This is from the Facebook Live from Oliver Raymond R. Portus. So no mention about post-traumatic scenarios. To what extent is debriefing significant?
Could you repeat that, please?
It has not been mentioned, the post-traumatic scenario. Maybe this person, maybe Oliver Raymond Portus, is pointing out that there has to be a post-traumatic scenario, or to what extent is debriefing significant?
Wow. Okay. To what extent is
the debriefing? How can we debrief them, or is debriefing necessary? If it is,
post-traumatic scenario. I mean, see, the thing is, okay, if you get people excited from the beginning before they come back, okay. Everything that we're focusing on is essentially going to be what is possible and what we can do for the organization. Okay, so you're getting people to essentially, instead of focusing on the trauma, okay, which a lot of people are doing now.
Yes.
Okay, so simply by redirecting them into a positive element of what can be achieved for the organization, what happens is that you're not really addressing the post-traumatic element. You're addressing the possibilities, because people have been focusing on the possibilities rather than the trauma. But of course, that requires you to do this before you go back to work, because if you wait and you start doing stuff after you get to work, then people are still in this whole trauma, and then it's like, now I got to go back to work. It's like, then it's another shift. While if they're already excited about what they're going to do when they get back to work, and they've already got plans and they've got purpose, well, then you have a lot of passion and excitement and productive action that happens.
Thank you, Sir Arthur, for that. I believe so too. That perhaps with that strategy that you have mentioned with us, less time will be spent on debriefing. It's not about where we dwell. It's about how we move on. Now, Jennifer Samson from the Q&A box. What is the best thing to do if the immediate superior and his staff itself are not coordinating with each other or to each other? Staff doing things with no approval from his superior, and the immediate superior that did not update his staff for the important concerns given to him by the board. So,
but I mean, at the end of the day, find the key influencers here. People who are the informal leaders. If the superiors are not doing that part of the job, it's okay, because if you find work with other people that you're involved with. I mean, Zoom, Skype, whatever. I mean, just get together and come up with, hey, what can we do? Okay, and then you invite other people to be part of your club, and you can grow it organically from that part, and then you can involve the superiors or the senior guys or whatever, and say, hey, we've started this group and we'd like to invite you because you're our manager, and we'd just like to let you know what we're doing. And then they're going to go, whoa, and guess who's going to get promoted after this whole thing gets done?
Exactly. Thank you so much, of course, Jennifer Sampson, for your question. Sir Arthur Carmazzi, you have been awesome. Well, thank you so much. 1.5 hours flew so fast only because you are this animated, highly energized, brimming with sense of humor. I mean, you are a person who is you're the type of person who should be leading people and organizations through this crisis. And we thank you for that. So do you have any last words, Sir Arthur, before we part?
No. I just want to let you know that, that if you want to take advantage of the free audits and strategy for your organization, I think that we had put the link on there earlier. And of course, if you want the infographics and slides, go ahead and just send me a note to arthurc@carmazzi.net. Okay, and Carmazzi spelled CARMAZZI.net. And of course, don't forget to follow me on LinkedIn and subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Thank you so much, Sir Arthur. Everybody, a big hand for our speaker. Thank you so much, sir. And we hope to see you in the Philippines personally someday.
Absolutely. After probably not this week though.
Oh no, not this season, perhaps once everything has flattened and it's safe already. Thank you, Sir Arthur, and stay awesome.
All right.
Now,
bye.
For our participants, bye, sir. Now, for our participants, don't go yet. It's time for us to call our Madam President Irish Malonda Samson for some reminders and gratitude for.
Thank you, Sir Howard. You can call me Irish instead.
Thank you, Madam Irish. Madam.
Sir, that was fun, energetic, informative presentation from Sir Arthur Carmazzi. What a wonderful presentation that was. So thank you so much. On behalf of Ariva Academy, thank you for giving us the opportunity and looking forward to have you on our HR Congress soon. So also thank you, Sir Howell, for being our moderator today. And I will be seeing you this afternoon, right?
Yes.
But before that, sir, what's your key takeaway?
You know what? There's a lot of things that he has said that has embedded in my not only left lobe brain, but the right lobe brain. The creativity, the energy, the passion. I think those things, not what merely he said, but how he exuded those three things: the energy, the passion, and even that sense of humor. Those things are rare during these times of crisis. So that will be my takeaway. What about you, Ma'am Irish? I'm sure you've had a lot.
What struck me most is one line from Sir Arthur. People need to own the culture. They have to have the sense of ownership for it to be successful.
I agree. Amen to that.
I'll see you later, sir.
See you later. Thank you so much, Madam Irish.
And for the participants, please stay tuned because I have some announcements. So please allow me to acknowledge our win-win sponsors who help us make this e-learning possible. Thank you to our official media partner, Art Plus Magazine. Thank you also to digital media partners, Focus Media, Globaltronics, City Advertising Ventures, Outcome, Elevate Media. For win-win partners, thank you to Brother, Faber-Castell, Glutacy, Moringa O2, KFC, Mr. Donut, Tokyo, Lotus Biscoff, Boss Job, CERT Technology Inc., Pinmap Properties, Parajet, Ilawi Korea, Kitoson and Carpo Consulting, Enchanted Kingdom, Disperse, Cosmotech Philippines Inc., And if you want to place your ads here, advertise your company, your brand, your logo, your services, please do reach us at marketing@ariva.com.ph. Again, it's marketing@ariva.com.ph. And don't forget to like us on Facebook. It's Ariva Academy Philippines Inc. Again, it's Ariva Academy Philippines Inc. Please scan this QR code and it will be directed to our Facebook page. So don't forget to like us. And if you want to watch the replay of our free e-learning sessions, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Ariva Academy. Again, Ariva Academy. Look for Ariva Academy. Subscribe. Ariva Talks, subscribe. Okay? Again, Ariva Academy and Ariva Talks. For our upcoming online learning sessions, this will be this afternoon. Yes, how to be productive when you work from home. We have invited Mr. Adrian Tan from Singapore. Please do register now. Join us later. And tomorrow, please do join us. And we will be joined by Mr. Chinky Tan, the sought-after motivational speaker and wealth coach. He will be discussing manage money in a crisis, strategies to manage your money better. Time slot is 3 to 4:30 p.m. And of course, don't forget to register our moderator. And he will be discussing selfless leadership, leading your people through turbulent times. Mr. Howell Mabalot, our moderator, will be discussing this on Tuesday, April 28th. And we would like to invite our HR professionals, people managers, business owners. Please do join us on the HR Virtual Summit PH 2020 Bounce Back HR. This is actually today is the third series. So we have upcoming series to come. So please do join us. For further details, please register and check our website. It's www.ariva.com.ph. And we also invite Mr. Scott Friedman from USA. This will be on April 27. He will be discussing how to survive and thrive during turbulent times. And another international speaker, Miss Pip Penfold. She will be discussing leverage HR technology to power up innovation. This will be on April 30, Thursday. Please do register and join us. Also, another international speaker, Dr. Indigo Triplet, a global keynote speaker, success and mental well-being coach. This will be on April 30, 3 to 4:30 p.m. She will be discussing from surviving to thriving in the new normal. Of course, we have an e-learning masterclass from Mr. Jonathan Yabut. He will be discussing online selling from home, how to use FBIG and LinkedIn to your business. And another e-learning masterclass from Mr. Jonathan Yabut, leading a work-from-home workforce, how to manage and develop remote teams. This will be on May 14, 4 to 6 p.m. Don't forget to register. If you want to customize an e-learning session for your team, invite our guest speakers, invite our Ariva Speakers Bureau, please do reach me at 0916-695-4418. We can host your e-learning session and email me at irish.arivaacademy@gmail.com. And thank you for joining us this morning. Hope to see you this afternoon. Again, this is Irish Malonda Samson. In Ariva, it's all about being better. Please stay home and be safe. Thank you.